Yo, what's going on, guys? It's C-Brev. Welcome to another MLB The Show 20 video. In this one, I'm going to be doing a complete guide and walkthrough for the new Showdown Extreme that has just dropped today. If you guys could, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more MLB The Show 20 content. I would greatly appreciate it. So we're going to be doing a whole walkthrough for Showdown Extreme, which will get you a third of the way through the program, the Extreme program, and will get you that MVP Christian Yelich if you haven't done any of the program yet. So let's jump into it with some things in the beginning. First of all, it costs 1,000 stubs to enter, but if you beat just one boss, just the first one, you'll get your stubs back. So don't worry about the stub entry. Assuming you just win one, you'll get it back, and if you lose one and then re-enter and then win two, you'll actually come out ahead 1,000 stubs. So get that out of the way. Also, every single mini moment in this showdown is in itself a boss showdown, which means if you were to lose at any point on any of these moments, your whole run will be over. So sounds intimidating, sounds extreme, but it's not that bad. Just don't psych yourself out is what I'm trying to get at for the beginning of this. Let's go over our core principles for showdown. You want to try to be patient and work walks if they're going to give them to you. You don't want to make stupid base running errors because the outs are precious. You don't need to tag up if you have many outs remaining and a guy on third and the play's even close. You should probably not be sending that guy home. It's just not worth the risk. Assuming a runner gets to second base and you have a decent amount of outs remaining, most of the time that guy's going to come around to score eventually. So you don't need to be aggressive on the base paths at all. And we want to stay out of double plays because double plays absolutely kill us in Showdown. And there is a very good way to stay out of double plays that I will show you when I'm doing one of these boss moments. And it involves stealing. So stay tuned for that. Also, the ideal setup, how I think you should go about approaching this in the most efficient way, now that I've played it several times, you're either going to want to win the first four and then skip the fifth one and go to the end, or you're just going to want to beat all of them. We'll talk about the fifth showdown. There is some merit to skipping it, but if you do end up beating it, it is a lot of rewards. Prestige Diamond Batter, Low Diamond Batter, and Diamond Perk to add to your squad right before Pearson is very valuable, but it's the hardest mini boss. So we'll talk about it when we get there. That being said, let's go ahead and start a draft. What is to mention about the draft here is you are never going to be playing defense at all in this showdown because every moment is a boss showdown. You're only ever going to be hitting. So positions don't matter whatsoever. You can literally play Harmon Killebrew, who I'm going to take here. You could literally play this Harmon Killebrew in center field and it would not make a difference. You're never ever going to be on defense. So when you're doing your draft, you're basically just looking for the best hitter you can get. Also, balanced hitters are good because you face a pretty good alternation of lefty-righty in these moments. Let's see, Anderson playing up. I think Chris Bryant's the play. Sorry, this is a hard choice. I'm gonna go Anderson. Yeah, you face a good alternation of righty-lefty, so if you can find guys that hit both sides well, that's ideal. I think I'm still gonna take Will Smith here. This has actually been a pretty bad round. But yeah, I'm looking for power most of the time. Like this Trumbo's a great pick just because it helps, especially on the first two when you're playing on veteran and your PCI is already big enough for you to do some damage. So yeah, you're basically just looking for the best hitters available, and positions don't matter. And just as a reminder to go over it one more time, if you are to lose any of these mini moments at any time, you will lose your whole run, just to remind you. Now let's talk about perks. Your silver perk doesn't matter that much. It'll get replaced later in the run. However, I do have some rankings for you guys for diamond and gold perks. As far as diamond and gold perks go, clear for takeoff is king. The exit velocity boosts are insane. The sliders do make exit velocities a little low. They did tune up the sliders for sure in this extreme showdown to make it harder to hit. But I found with clear for takeoff, it kind of offsets that. So diamond and gold perks, you want clear for takeoff no matter what. In fact, I've been using gold cleared for takeoff doubled up with diamond cleared for takeoff over some other diamond perks. So I will use gold cleared for takeoff over most diamond perks. It's that good. But for gold perks, the rankings are cleared for takeoff. Then you want heart attack. Heart attack is really good as a gold perk. That's the one that gives you contact boost while losing. It's really good for the final boss, Pearson. It's not so good for some of the mini bosses, but it is pretty good for some of the mini bosses as well. So you want to stay on top of your perks in that manner. Then you want Inner Peace. Inner Peace is really good. Then Jumpstart for golds, and finally either Oppo Taco or Insider Info. So this is actually a pretty bad gold round. I don't like Defibrillator because you're not behind in the count much, I found. So I'm going to take Oppo Taco. And then, like I said, silver perks don't matter as much. We'll just take Insider Info here. As far as diamond perks go, the rankings I have are Cleared for Takeoff for sure, then Inner Peace second, then Jumpstart third, then Oppo Taco or Insider Info fourth, and then finally fifth, you could pick up Base Commander. Base Commander increases your speed while stealing, which goes to the way we're going to stay out of double plays later on, but it is pretty useful if it shows up and you don't have better options. It's a good diamond perk. You notice I didn't mention Heart Attack at all in diamond perks. Heart Attack is actually glitched as a diamond perk where it only works when you have runners in scoring position. It's supposed to be both when you're behind and with runners in scoring position, I believe, but it only works when you have runners in scoring position. So diamond Heart Attack is actually pretty bad. Gold Heart Attack is the best Heart Attack. So that being said, when you're done with your draft, make sure you go to Manage Perks and equip them. Make sure you go to your lineup and put in all your best hitters, which should be just pretty much everyone you drafted. You will end up with either a bronze or common as your pinch hitter in this first round. I guess this guy has no stats. I don't know what that's about. But I didn't see who we're facing here. We're facing Catfish first. So we're just going to fill up our lineup with our best hitters. You may have to pinch hit with a bronze or a common in the first run, like I said. Order doesn't really matter. I've actually been putting one of my worst hitters lead off because there are some of these showdown bosses where your leadoff hitter just starts on base. So I want to start with my best hitter second is how I've kind of been doing it, and then just distributing this in such a way that I have some good hitters sprinkled in with some lesser hitters, but the order doesn't really matter. And of course, when you get into the game, remember to pinch hit for your 9 hole when he gets up, because it is just your pitcher hitting. Again, pitchers don't matter at all. You'll never be pitching in Showdown Extreme. So let's talk about the bosses, and then we'll start working our way through this stuff, but I'll knock out the bosses. I've pretty much figured out whoever you can face for every part of this, so if you just want to watch this part so you know what you're getting yourself into and then skip to the end or click off the video, I understand. But this first boss, the pitchers change, by the way, on these, but the conditions never change. So the conditions on this first boss, it's going to be on veteran. You're going to be down 2-0 with 10 outs remaining. This is definitely a beatable one. You're going to be on veteran. You basically have to score 3 runs with 10 outs. So you can do this one. The pitchers you can face are any of the face of the franchise pitchers. So I landed on Catfish for this one, but any face of the franchise pitcher for slot 1 is fair game. I've seen Oral Hershiser, Kerry Wood, Al Leiter, AJ Burnett, etc. pop out for everyone on this first slot. So that's how it's going to be. Face of the franchise pitcher. You're down by 2, so you need to score 3 with 10 outs remaining, and it's on veteran. This will give you 2 showdown runs, a gold batter, and a gold perk. The second slot gives you a low diamond batter, a gold batter, and a gold perk in 2 showdown runs when you win. This one is going to be against a future star pitcher. However, the only 3 I've seen anyone get are Jesus Luzardo, Brendan McKay, and Casey Mize. So as far as I know, as far as making this video 2 hours after this content dropped, those are the only 3 guys you will face in slot 2. 98 Jesus Luzardo, 98 Brendan McKay, or 99 Casey Mize. I believe these bosses could be updated as more cards come out as well. Well, it remains to be seen, but as of day 1, this is what it is. For this moment, you're going to be down 6-0, but it's also on veteran. You're down 6-0. You get a runner on second to start the game, so that's your leadoff hitter. So that's why I usually put my worst hitter lead off for these moments. And you get 20 outs remaining. So this is a very, very winnable boss. The second boss is definitely easier than the first boss, in my opinion. You have 20 outs remaining. You got a guy starting on second base, and you only need to score 7 runs to win. So once again, you'll be facing future stars Luzardo, McKay, or Mize for slot number 2. For slot number 3, you're either going to be facing Player of the Month James Paxton or Awards Max Scherzer. As far as, once again, this is day 1, they could update this. This one is the first one that's on All-Star. You're going to be down 2-0 with 12 outs remaining. So it does jump up to All-Star, but once again, being down 2-0, 12 outs remaining, you got to score 3 runs with 12 outs. You can definitely do that, and that's why I recommend just trying to get to at least past the 4th moment before you skip to the end. So at least try to do the first 4. No runners on base to start that one, and it's on All-Star. Your rewards are a low diamond batter and a diamond perk. So obviously the farther you go, the better your team and your perks get, which is very valuable for the final boss. The 4th moment. The 4th boss I actually think is the easiest one, which is hilarious. So if you get here, you should definitely be doing this one. For this slot, this is also on All-Star. You're going to be facing any Signature Series closer pitcher that's in the game, except I think Mariano Rivera is excluded from this because he's already been a Showdown boss before, would be my reasoning, but I haven't seen anyone say they got Mariano. The 3 I've seen people get are closer John Smoltz, Trevor Hoffman, and 97 Aroldis Chapman. So if you land on Chapman on this one, that's a little unlucky, but still doable. Especially with the conditions, like I said, it's on All-Star. You're going to be down 8-0 with a runner starting on second. So again, you want your worst hitter leadoff in this spot. But you got 24 outs remaining. So you start with a guy on second base, you're down 8-0, and you got 24 outs to work with. That is very easy, in my opinion. This is the easiest boss, the 4th one. Finally, the 5th boss, and then I promise we'll get into some gameplay here. The 5th boss is definitely the hardest mini boss, and it's the one you could debatably skip. This is a high risk, high reward moment, because if you win, you get a prestige diamond batter, another diamond batter, and a diamond perk, and you get 3 runs going into the last showdown. So this is by far the best rewards of any of the mini bosses, but like I said, it is the hardest one. So use your discretion. Remember, if you lose here, you lose everything you've worked for so far. So keep that in mind. Your risk tolerance is up to you. But for this slot, it's going to be on Hall of Fame. You're going to be down 2-0 with 14 outs remaining, so you need to score 3 runs and 14 outs, and you do not start with anybody on base. The 2 pitchers I have seen people run into in this slot are 99 Chris Sale or 99 Bob Feller. Haven't heard anyone else for this slot, so those are the 2 you could run into here. Obviously, keep in mind Bob Feller on Hall of Fame is going to throw gas, but he's going to throw you a ton of balls. If you land on Bob Feller here, you should just be looking to walk a ton, because I can assure you he's going to have trouble finding the strike zone, because the computer throws more balls the higher difficulty you play on to begin with, on top of Bob Feller's bad control. So you beat that one. Finally, you get to the final showdown, which every time is going to be against 99 Future Stars Nate Pearson. It's going to be on Hall of Fame. You do start with a runner on second there, and you have 30 outs remaining. So that's a pretty generous final boss, if you ask me. So that being said, let's jump into it. We're going to play through this whole thing. I'll try to give my thoughts on the pitchers I do run into, but keep in mind they could change. Let's jump into Catfish right here. So some tips for this first boss. It's on veteran, so it's gonna look really slow, especially if you land on someone with low velo like Catfish Hunter. So just make sure you're not swinging early at away pitches, and make sure you try to stick with your approach. They will still walk you even though it's on veteran, so just make sure you're swinging at good pitches if you can. Alright, we got Muncie on first, so now I'll go over this thing we can help us do to stay out of double plays, which is a little bit of a stealing. I don't know if it'd be called a glitch. They did patch the actual glitch earlier in the year. This works with people around 60 speed or higher. But you need to be watching the jump you get, because if you get a bad jump, you might have to take an emergency hack. But what you're going to want to do is hold R2 until the pitcher comes set and is ready to come home. Then you're going to take 2 steps off of first, and then you're going to click L2 for the base steal. And then when you let go of R2, they're going to come home. I got a bad jump there, so I tried to take an emergency hack, but thankfully he threw it away. That would have been a really close play. We could have been out there. Obviously, the higher the speed, the easier this gets. I had Christian Yelich in an earlier one of these who has 75 speed, 75 stealing, and he was pretty much automatically in there when I did that. So you're not going to be able to steal with guys with 30 speed like you used to on the old one, but that's a little tip you can try to do to stay out of double plays, because if you can steal from first to second, you run yourself out of a double play. Alright, Tim Anderson hits the walk-off home run. We beat Catfish with 6 outs remaining. On to the Future Stars round. So we get 2 showdown runs, a gold batter, and a gold perk. For our batter, we're going to take Will Myers. He's the best hitter. Again, we only care about offense. And for our perk, once again, we got a little unlucky here. Jumpstart is really the only pick, so we'll go ahead and take Jumpstart. Once again, after every boss battle, make sure you are going into your lineup and putting in your new perks, putting in your new players, and adjusting to the handedness of the new pitcher you'll be facing, and whether or not you'll have a runner on second base to start the game. The second, fourth, and final bosses, you have a runner on second base to start out. So for our second round, we landed on Casey Mize. A little bit harder to play the matchups early on in these runs. I'm going to put Will Myers in center field to replace Greg Bird, but Greg Bird is still going to be our pinch hitter for this round. And this is a runner starting on second round, so I think I'm going to have Meadows hitting leadoff. Once again, this is on veteran. You're down 6-0 with a runner on second base, and you're facing a Future Stars pitcher. Keep in mind when you're doing each of these boss battles that Showdown Extreme at the end of the day is a grind. If you're going into each of these boss battles thinking about how you can get it over with quickly, it's not going to be a good recipe for you. You just need to accept the fact that this is going to be a grind. Once you beat it once, you never have to do it again unless you want to farm stubs. So stay patient, work the count. If they're going to walk you, you're going to take that. But especially on these early ones on veteran, it's easy to kind of get in the habit of just swinging away at everything. So make sure you stay patient, make sure you understand it's a grind, and we'll be all right. 69 speed for Will Myers, and you can see we're in there by a mile this time. You just got to get a decent jump, you'll be chilling. Meadows rips a single up the middle for us to beat Casey Mize 7-6. On to the third round, which is either going to be Scherzer or Paxton. So for our diamond hitter, we kind of low rolled again. I think I'm going to go Moncada here, just because he has more power versus right. Yeah, I'm going to go with Moncada. This was a pretty unfortunate diamond round, but I'll take him as a lefty pretty much. And then for our gold round, probably going to go Griffin or Lourdes. Lourdes looks better to me, so we'll go with him. Again, we only care about hitting. And for our gold perk, according to the rankings I said earlier, Inner Peace is our best option here. Once again, after every battle, make sure you're going to your perks and swapping stuff out. Make sure you're going to your squad and putting in your new players. So we add Moncada, we add Gurriel. Moncada will probably play for, depends on who we're hitting against. So we are hitting against Scherzer in this one. Like I said, this one could either be Scherzer or Paxton. So Scherzer's a righty. We're going to put him in for Anderson because Moncada is going to hit righties better than Anderson is. And then we'll probably use Lourdes as a pinch hitter here with his 84 power. So that's what we're going to do. Once again, this one's on All-Star. You're down 2-0 with 12 outs remaining, and it's going to be against Scherzer or Paxton. Boom, Soto walks it off in Nationals Park. On to round 4. 2 more runs for us. We get a low diamond batter and a diamond perk here. For our diamond batter, kind of looking like Marcel. I keep getting guys that have good splits versus one or the other. I'm going to take Marcel here because he's really good against lefties. So if we land on Chapman or Sale for the last 2 rounds, that'll be good for us. For our diamond perk, still no clear for takeoff, which is a little unfortunate. Next best one is Inner Peace though, so we'll take that. And yes, equipping the same perk does stack, so I'm going to get double Inner Peace now. It's not one or the other. So our 4th round, we did actually land on Chapman, so that Ozuna pick is going to be huge. We're going to put him in. Once again, this is the 4th round. Our leadoff hitter is going to start the game on second base, so I'm going to go ahead and put Max Muncy at leadoff so that he's technically like our 9th hitter after we start. And like I said earlier, I think this is the easiest one out of all of them. You are down 8-0, 24 outs remaining, and you're going to be facing a relief pitcher, and you can really abuse that with their stamina. So these closing pitchers that you'll be facing in this round, they basically run out of energy after 50 pitches, which means they're going to start throwing you meatballs. I saw some confusion on some showdown guides I did earlier in the year. Computer pitchers don't really lose control as they run out of energy. I talk about working walks just in general because I think it's good. But the main reason you want to run these pitchers out of energy is because they start throwing you meatballs, and then when you do swing at it, your PCI is just gigantic. Because as pitcher energy lowers, PCI grows, and when the opponent's pitcher is out of energy, you just have a huge PCI. You can just crush pretty much anything in the zone. So that's why we want to do it. If you find yourself struggling early in this round, just try to take till 2 strikes. The sooner you run that pitcher out of energy, the better. And eventually you might get to a break point where pretty much every time you swing at a strike, it's coming off the bat hard. So that's really our goal at the end of this. And especially with someone like Chapman who has bad control anyway, computer's going to throw you a lot of balls and is probably going to walk you a lot. Going to be very easy to work the count against a guy like this. As Will Myers goes deep, forgot to reiterate again, the 3 pitchers that I know of as of right now you could face in this round are Signature Series Aroldis Chapman, Signature Series Trevor Hoffman, or Signature Series closing pitcher John Smoltz. Anderson with the single to left field. We'll run on Castellanos every time. We're going to win with 20 outs remaining. Easy peasy. Like I said, you guys should be able to beat this 4th one. I think it's the easiest one. On to round 5. We get 2 more runs, any diamond batter and a diamond perk. Our diamond batters are pretty bad again. Unfortunate we landed on face of the franchise Soto as our best one because we already have live series Soto. So I guess we go with J-Rod here. We begin some pretty awful diamond rounds, to be honest. And this perk round is pretty bad as well. We'll take Oppo Taco, but definitely not a good one either. But the double inner piece does help, so. And we could land on something better with our 5th round. So here's where, as I said, you can either skip this 5th round and go to the end. You can do that by pressing options here, or you can play this one out. This is the hardest one of the mini ones in my opinion. Down 2-0 with 14 outs remaining, but it is on Hall of Fame, and it's going to be against 99 Chris Sale or 99 Bob Feller. So I'm going to play it out because I have confidence that I can win. But if you're unsure at all, just go ahead and skip to the end. You've put yourself in a great position. You only need 13 runs with 30 outs remaining to beat Nate Pearson. Your team should be decent enough to carry you there. So if you feel like you don't want to lose all your progress and you're feeling pretty uncomfortable about trying this last one, just go ahead and skip it. Like I said, I'm going to play it because I'm pretty confident, so let's do that. Muncy rips one into center field for the win. We beat Chris Sale. We move on to final boss Nate Pearson with a sick draft coming up. And this is why I say if you feel comfortable enough to try the 5th one, it is definitely worth it. It's the highest risk, highest reward out of any of the boss moments. We get 3 extra runs, but we go into this, we get a prestige hitter, a regular diamond, and a final diamond perk. And we know going into this draft, the only pitcher we have left to face in this run is going to be 99 Future Stars Nate Pearson, who is the final boss every time. So we want to take Belly here because he's the best against a righty. We know we're going to face a righty. Same for this diamond draft. We probably want Lewis here. He's got way more contact versus right and just a little bit less power than Dozier. So we'll take Kyle Lewis, great hitter against a righty. And then for our perks, once again, no clear for takeoff, which is a bummer, but jump start isn't bad. We can at least replace our gold jump start. Oh, we already did. I think I'm going to replace Oppo Taco with jump start. Double inner piece is really strong. Once again, don't forget to change your lineup. And once again, you're going to start with a runner on second base for this final showdown. So you want to put who you think your worst hitter is in your leadoff spot. That for me is going to be Mark Trumbo in this one. And here we are, the final boss against Nate Pearson. 30 outs remaining. Because we did beat every other boss, we go in only down 9 runs, meaning we only need 10 to score. And let's jump in. I'll go over some of my strategy for facing this Future Stars Nate Pearson. We're in the Rogers Center facing this Pearson. So this can be pretty intimidating for some of you guys if you haven't seen a lot of Belo or if you haven't played on Hall of Fame much this year. But we can win another way even if you struggle with the pitch speed. So if you notice, Nate Pearson is a Future Stars card. A lot of these Future Stars pitchers have low stamina. At this point in the year, 96 stamina is actually pretty low for a pitcher. So our approach in this one, we're going to be super patient. Not only does Pearson have low stamina, and like I said earlier, if we run him out of energy, our PCI is going to be huge, but he has pretty poor control as well. He's pretty wild. He will walk you. So if you're uncomfortable hitting on Hall of Fame, I would almost go as far as to say just take until 2 strikes with every batter, because 30 outs remaining is a lot of outs. This final boss showdown battle is going to be a grind. You're going to be in here for a long time. You can easily get Pearson to 150 pitches and still have like 10 outs remaining at least. So that would be my advice. Try to work walks. If you really are uncomfortable hitting on Hall of Fame, take till 2 strikes. Hope he walks you. And if you're not used to the pitch speeds or Hall of Fame, like I said also, when we do swing, we're pretty much just going to be selling out for the fastball. I have a screenshot from when I beat this on my other account. At the end of the boss battle, he had thrown pretty much 2/3 of his pitches were fastballs. So when we do swing, we're pretty much just selling out for the fastball. He throws a fastball 102. If you're uncomfortable, just try to swing as if it's a fastball and pray. I'll hop into the pitcher analysis after I beat this as well and show you how many fastballs he throws, but it's a lot. So that's the strategy. Work the count a ton. 30 outs remaining is so many outs. It's way more than we usually have of 20, so work the count a lot, play around your perks, try to get walks, and hopefully you can come out on top. Did he get it all? He did. Kyle Lewis walk-off home run. We beat the Showdown. Going into pitcher analysis here, you can see he threw me 38 pitches. Oh, you guys can't see because of my webcam. Hold on. This is hilarious. Pearson threw me 38 pitches, and 30 of them were four-seam fastballs. So that's why I say sit on the four-seamer with Pearson. Obviously, we only saw 38 pitches because we only made 2 outs. We've been in a groove all day. But that's going to wrap it up for the video. Let me know if you guys liked it. Again, drop a like and subscribe. It helps me out. Drop a comment with a question down below if you have one. I'll do my best to answer you. I'm not going to get the rewards here because I already beat it on this account. But I hope that helps you guys. Stay tuned for the Conquest Extreme and the Moments Extreme guides that I will inevitably be making. Thank you for all your support this year. I appreciate and love each and every one of you. See you in the next one. Peace.